Consult a physician before performing this or any exercise program. This is especially important for people with medical conditions like high blood pressure, heart disease, and diabetes. It is your responsibility to evaluate your own medical and physical condition and to determine whether to perform or adapt any of the exercises in this program. If you have symptoms like weakness, lightheadedness or dizziness, chest pain or pressure, nausea, or shortness of breath, stop and consult your healthcare provider. The audio content of the exercise programs is copyrighted. Reproduction in any format or medium is prohibited unless you receive written permission from BlindAlive, LLC.
BlindAlive.
Hi, this is Eyes Free Fitness Flirting with Balance. I am Mel Scott. I say flirting because in this sequence we're going to tease and entice our body into behaving the way we want it to. It might take some time to lure our mind and bodies into finding that very still balance point. But if we work these exercises daily at first, it will build more confidence, and confidence almost always means more fun. Let's get started. First, you need to find a support piece of furniture, like a sturdy chair that's not going to topple, or a kitchen counter, or a heavy piece of furniture that allows you to stand up straight with your shoulders pulled back and dropped down, and your elbows are bent pretty much at a 90-degree angle if possible. You need to be able to stand in this correct posture with your hands resting fully on the piece of furniture. Now that you have your support, stand in front of it with your hands resting fully on the top of the surface. I'm going to talk you through getting yourself into the correct posture. All of the exercises in this sequence are going to be done from this correct position. So just listen to me and I will continue to cue you all the way through to keep you in this best posture. Let's start with the feet. So your hands are resting on your piece of furniture. Your feet should be planted firmly on the floor at hip distance apart. If you need your feet to be a little wider than hip distance apart in order to be stable, that's just fine. Just put your feet where you need to put your feet so that you can find the greatest stability. Rock back on your heels. We want the weight to be in your heels and all across the foot. But what happens sometimes is we tend to lean forward. I don't want you to lean forward. Think about the weight being in your heels. Now move up to your knees, and your knees should be slightly bent. We don't want them straight, just slightly bent and relaxed, remembering to keep the weight in your heels. Now move up to your hip joints. Relax your hip joints so that it creates a natural arch in your low back. You don't want your hips to be pressed forward or jutting out to one side or the other. Just relax your hips. It'll create a nice arch in your low back. Now, pull in your stomach muscles up from the bottom and towards your spine. Think about your abdominal muscles wrapping all the way around to your back. This creates a long, tall feeling in your body. Then move up to your shoulders. Pull your shoulders back. Press your chest out. And let your shoulders then drop down so that your shoulders are relaxed, your chest is pressed out, and you can get a nice breath of air into your lungs. Nice full lungs. Then come up to your head and press your head back so that your ears are in line with your shoulders. A lot of times we tend to walk with a head forward motion. This leaning forward of our bodies really throws off our balance. We want to put the weight on our heels and think about the back part of our body. That's called the posterior chain of muscles. So breathe into this deeply and find stillness here in this correct posture. Feels good to slow down just a little bit, doesn't it? So from here comes the fun part. We begin playing around with balance. So you're standing in your correct posture and you're holding on. Notice where your body is, that you're in that correct posture, and now begin to be aware of your hands. I want you to begin to just lift your hands up from your support ever so slightly. You may be able to completely lift your hands away from your support at this point, standing up straight and tall. And if you can, that's fabulous. Just hold on to that as I talk people through the rest of this exercise. So from here, you're hovering your hands above the support if you can. If not, I want you to lift one hand and then maybe go to fingertips. And then maybe going to fingertips with one hand. The idea is to play around with that balance point in your body. You can hold on with both hands. You can hold on with one hand. You can touch with your fingertips. You can touch with the fingertips of one hand. You can touch with one finger on both hands, or you can touch with one finger on one hand, or you can hover your hands just lightly above the support. I recommend that you keep close to your support so you're safe. So for now, just listen to the music and play around a little bit. It's fun. Okay, take a moment now to settle yourself back into your correct posture. Holding on with your hands, starting with your feet. Think about your weight being in your heels, your knees slightly bent, your hip joints relaxed and level with a nice neutral spine. Your stomach muscles are pulled up and in, pulling your belly button into your spine, pressing your chest out. Shoulders are pulled back and drop down, and your head is pressed back a little bit so your ears are lined up with your shoulders. That's a correct posture, and we're going to move into the next position from this point. The idea here is to get your feet closer together. The closer your feet are together, the more challenging it is to be balanced. So that's what we're going to do this time, is bring your feet, just inch them in a little bit closer than they are right now. I understand that some people may not be able to get their feet completely touching each other. That's okay. Just get them as close as you can while still being stable. So let's play with that now. Holding on first, and one hand, and fingertips, and finger, and then hovering above your support. noticing what your body is doing. Be with it. Just play around. This is not a stressful thing. This is just kind of funny. You're just having a good time. So work with your body now while the music is playing. Now come back, settle yourself, breathing, find your correct posture, leaning back on your heels, knees bent, hips relaxed, stomach muscles up and in, shoulders back and down, head pressed back. We're going to begin now to move towards standing on one foot. It is an important skill, and this is a good spot for me to tell you that this program is intended to teach you the exercises and to give you an opportunity to practice and play around with the exercises. Once you've learned these exercises, you'll be able to take them with you throughout your day, and if you have a minute here or there, you can practice. So that is our intention. To begin, we're just going to shift our weight from one leg and then to the other. So find your correct posture, that perfect posture position, and get steady on your feet. Same as always. And now begin to shift your weight to the left leg, keeping that right foot in contact with the floor. We're not lifting our feet yet, just shifting your weight. We want to strengthen that standing leg and get the feel in our body of what it feels like to be balanced while standing on one leg. So think about your weight being mostly in that left heel, not leaning your body forward. The knee is a little bit bent, hip is relaxed, hip is level, nice neutral arch in your low back. Stomach muscles up and in, your chest is out, your shoulders are back and down, and your head is pressed back. I know it gets tedious hearing that, but it's so important. So you're on your left leg. Just your weight is just really solid in that leg. Now begin to think about what your hands are doing. Begin your moving through your hand positions, holding on with both hands, and then one hand, and then all fingertips, and then fingertips of one hand, fingers. And if you want to close your eyes, you can do that. Just taking a minute to play, get the feel of that in your body. Now come back to center, putting all of your weight on both legs. It can tire out that standing leg. You'll need to do this every day to get that leg nice and strong. Come back to center. Reposition yourself in your perfect posture. Nice and tall, hands holding on. Now begin to shift your weight to the right leg. Just slightly lift that left leg, keeping your foot in contact with the floor. That right leg is straight and strong. Think about the weight being in the heel, knee bent, little bit, hip relax, nice arch in your low back. Your hip is not jutting out, not forward, not to the side, not to the back. You're nice and straight and tall, and think about where your head is. And now begin to move through your hand movements. That's hand positions. And just play with that and let the music play for a little bit. Okay, come back to yourself, finding that nice perfect posture, standing in the center on both feet, finding that still balance point. Take a nice deep breath and remember your posture. This time, we're going to lift the one foot just a little bit, keeping the toe on the ground, but lifting it a little bit more to get you a little bit off center. This is going to be fun. So get your perfect posture, straight and tall, holding on with both hands. Shift your weight to your left leg. Remembering, weight in the heels a little bit, knee bent, hip relaxed, nice relaxed neutral arch in your low back, stomach up and in, shoulders back and down, and head pressed back. Nice and solid on that left leg. Now I want you to begin to lift that right heel. Just lifting it right up off the floor, keeping that toe touching. So you're able to keep your balance fairly well with that toe touching, but it's going to be a little bit more challenging. Remembering that the closer your feet are together, the more challenging it's going to be. So as you progress, you'll be able to get those feet a little bit closer. The other thing you can do here is rest your right heel on that standing left leg. That'll help give you a little bit more foundation. So once you've got that position with your heel lifted, weight in the left leg, begin moving through your hand positions. You're gonna laugh. This is funny. I know for me, I just topple all over the place, and that's okay. Move through your hand positions. Just let yourself do that as the music plays. Now come back to yourself, come back to center, find that perfect balance, and then shift your weight to the right leg. Remembering your perfect posture, even though you're standing on that one leg, holding on with both hands, straight and tall. Now begin to lift the heel of your left foot. You can rest that heel on your right ankle if you want to. Or you can just lift it up, just keeping the toe on the ground. Once you get that position, begin moving your attention to your hands. Going through the hand positions. You know them by now. That's it. Okay, come back. I hope you're laughing. This is fun. You just as well laugh at yourself because we all look silly and we're just shaking and bobbling up and down and all over the place, and it's okay. It's just fine. So get a hold of yourself and come back to your perfect posture, breathing, and now we're going to stand on one foot for real. So get your posture, holding on, nice and centered, finding that still balance point right in the center of your body. So begin to shift your weight to the left leg, just like we've been doing before. Nice and solid in that left leg. Keeping your body nice and tall and straight and strong, and remembering to engage your stomach muscles. Holding on with the core of your body really helps keep you up and strong. And think about what your head is doing. You're not leaning forward, standing nice and strong on that left leg. Now begin to lift that right leg. Move to just shifting the weight to the left side, then move to the toe, lifting the heel up, and now try to lift that foot all the way off the floor. You're holding on with both hands, breathing, finding the balance the best way you can while holding on with both hands. And then after a point, begin to move through the hand motions. Today you might not be able to move your hands away at all. That's the case for all of these exercises. It's going to take a while for you to even be able to lift both hands, or one hand, or fingertips. Take it at your own pace, slowly, gradually. Over the days and weeks, you will be able to lift one foot off the ground and you'll be able to stand on one foot. It's going to take some time. So just play around a little bit now with that, just for fun. You're not going to be able to do it probably today, but you will eventually. Just listen and play. Okay, come back. I know. It's funny. It is funny. Hanging on, find your center. Getting your weight solidly back on both feet. Nice and tall, perfect posture. I'll spare you and not go through the whole thing. You know what it is. And then begin to shift your weight over to the right leg. Not leaning forward. Knowing where your head is, holding in your stomach, making sure your hips are nice and level, and that right leg is strong. Now begin to lift that left foot completely off the floor. Holding on with your hands, that's for sure. And then over time, you will begin to move through the hand positions. Holding on, both hands, one hand, fingertips, one finger, no fingers, and hovering your hands above the support and closing your eyes or not as the situation dictates. Now play with this for a little while as the music plays. Okay, the goal with standing on one foot is to be able to do it for 30 seconds on each leg. That is a tough goal. If you continue to practice with it though, say you're in the kitchen, just hanging out in the kitchen for some reason, just go over to your counter and try it. Holding on so that you're safe. The more you practice, the better you're going to get. The skill is important to have because when we move to the next program, which is called balanced movement, it's important to be able to understand what that balance point feels like when standing on one foot. We've got one more exercise sequence to do before we finish with this program. So I call it circle sequence. And what I want you to do now is get your support and turn to the right so that you're holding on with your left hand. It's important that your support is tall enough so that you can stand holding on with that one hand with your perfect posture. So I'm going to naturally talk you through that perfect posture one more time. So you're turned to the right, hanging on with your left hand. Find your balance point and that really, really nice tall posture. Think about your weight being in your heels. You're not leaning forward. Your knees are slightly bent. Your hip joints are relaxed so that you've got that nice supported arch in your low back. Your abdominal muscles are supporting that low back by pulling them up and in and towards your spine. Your chest is pressed out. Your shoulders are pulled back and dropped down. And your head is pressed back so that your chin is level and your ear is lined up with your shoulder joints. That's the correct posture. Now breathe here just for a minute. Get your still point and then begin shifting your weight to the left foot, keeping that leg nice and strong and tall as always. And now, just move that right leg out in front of you, keeping the exact same balance point in that left leg. Just put your right foot out in front and touch your toe to the floor. Find your balance here with that right toe touching the floor just in front of your body. Breathe here and hold it. I want you to be able to hold this for at least 10 seconds. 10 seconds sometimes seems like a long time and sometimes it doesn't. But the idea is to be able to hold your balance in this position. And then I want you to move your leg out to the side. That right leg touching your toe out to the side, directly to the side of your body, maintaining that balance point in your left side of your body. Keep in mind what your stomach muscles are doing and your chest is doing and your shoulders and your head. Breathing into that balance point, just touching your toe out to the side. Hold that for as long as you can. And then I want you to move that leg behind you. Keeping a straight leg, don't lean your body over. Keeping nice and tall and straight, and touch that toe behind you. Hold it, being very aware of what your body is doing. Hold it. Now bring that foot back up under you and find your balance there. So what you will do is, once you've got the hang of this, holding on with a solid hand, I want you to begin practicing this, moving through the hand positions. So a full hand, then begin to loosen the contact with your hand. Move to fingertips, move to one finger, and then move to that hand hovering over the surface. This might take you a while to master this. It's okay. You'll get stronger. You just keep doing it. So then, once you've found your balance point, let's move to the other side. I'll talk you through the other side so that you can practice with me here now so that you get a good feel for it. So get your correct posture. You need to turn your body so that your right hand is resting on that support. Get your nice, perfect posture. I won't talk you through that this time. You know what it is. Nice and tall. Stand up straight. Get your balance. Now move your left toe in front of your body. Your left foot, keep that leg nice and straight. Just touch your toe to the floor in front of you. Holding that position for as long as you can. And then move that foot out to the side, directly out to your side, maintaining that perfect posture. It's important to hang on to your posture and breathing and holding. And then move that foot behind you with a straight leg. Don't lean forward. Don't arch your back. Just have your foot touching right behind you. Hold on to that. Breathing. And then bring your foot under you. Get your balance. And as before, I want you to move through these positions with the toe in front the toe to the side, the toe to the back, and then under you with your hand positions. Moving through all the hand positions until you can do each of these movements without holding on. It's a game. It's fun. Sometimes it's a little bit tedious, but just keep your attitude. It's fun, and you can play with it and laugh at yourself. So keep at it. You'll get there. Now that you've listened to the entire Flirting with Balance sequence, I recommend that you listen to it one more time so that you get a good feel for what it's about. And then each day, take an exercise beginning at the beginning with the correct posture exercise, and make sure that you can stand with that correct posture without holding on for at least 30 seconds. This is going to be more challenging than you think. So try it, add an exercise after you've mastered the one before it. And after a few weeks, if you're diligent and you stick with it, you're going to be able to stand on one foot. You're going to be able to make those circles. I want you to go with this as far as you can go, with the goal of accomplishing each exercise for 30 seconds. And then once you've got it, I want you to write me and tell me about it. And then you can go on to the Balanced Movement Program. If this program is easy for you, then you can go straight to the Balanced Movement Program. So have fun with this, take care of yourself, and good health to you.
To learn more about BlindAlive and to order our products, visit us on the web at www.blindalive.com. While you're there, check out our blog and podcast. Finally, like us on Facebook and follow @BlindAlive on Twitter.